We have got two breaks happening tonight. We're going to do some Leaf Trinity football, which I think is the last of the Leaf Trinity that I have, as far as I know. Maybe some loose boxes somewhere. You know, sometimes I get those half cases. So there might be some loose boxes, but I think this is the last case anyway. And then following that, we'll do a little Bowman Chrome baseball. We probably are going to have some unpaid teams in one or both breaks, the way that it looks right now, but we'll check in again on that in a few minutes. Let's go ahead and get rolling with our pre-break information here. So feedback is automated, and I do that so that you never have to wait on me. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you are instantly going to get positive feedback in return. And then more importantly, thank you for being here. Always appreciate you bidding, breaking, chatting, and hanging out with me, keeping me company and whatnot. Here's a look at what is coming up in the days ahead. So tomorrow night we're going to start early, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. There's only one new release tomorrow that is clearly authentic baseball. We're going to open a full case of that along with another case of Topps Archives Signature Series Retired Player Edition. Nice long product name there, huh? On Thursday night, it will be a case of TriStar Game Day Greats autographed full-size football helmets, a full case of those, and an 8-box inner case of Illusions football. On Friday night, we're going to start at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific there as well. We've got two new releases. We'll open a half case of Leaf Autograph Mini football helmets and a full case of Impeccable football. Those are our two new releases. And then we'll also open a case of National Treasures baseball the same night. On Saturday, we're going to open a case of Game Day Greats autograph football jerseys. Those are the Series 2 Game Day Greats. Another case of Clearly Authentic, and another case of Bowman Chrome. Then Sunday night will be an off night. So that's what we're looking at there. Let's get to the news to use here. We only have paid shipping breaks tonight, and I am anticipating that what we're opening this evening should be on the way to you by Saturday. And as always, if I can get something out sooner, I most certainly will. And if something unexpected happens, it could always slide a day later. But as it stands right now, I expect it to be out the door on or about Saturday. If you get skunked in either one of these breaks tonight, you will still get consolation cards, and they will ship out when the rest of the break goes. And that is because these are paid shipping breaks, right? So anytime it's a paid break, if you get entirely skunked, meaning not a base card or anything, you're always going to get those consolation cards sent out at the same time the rest of the break goes, when you're bidding with me anyway. Now, I've got to bring you back to me for a minute so I can see the status on what we're waiting payment on here. And it looks like we're down to one in Leaf Trinity, and that is the New Orleans Saints that are currently setting unpaid. And looks like they last sold on eBay for what? I'm trying to pull it up right now. $26, I think that says. So is anybody interested in picking up the Saints tonight? Because you know we're not going to get through 2 nights in a row without unpaid teams. That, I mean, what, we would all like die of shock, wouldn't we? Like, I don't know. It has just gotten out of hand lately with people not paying for their stuff. Gets I don't know. It's problematic. Let's put it like that. So the Saints, anybody want them? Anybody going to pick up the New Orleans Saints here in Leaf Trinity? I need to find them a home because whoever bought them did not pay for them. Big shock there, right, guys? That we would actually have an unpaid team. All right, well, in the meantime, let's go ahead and look at our spreadsheet. This is a 10-box case of 2019 Leaf Trinity football. This is break number 5. Everything we're opening tonight ended tonight on eBay Tuesday night, the 8th of October. And, of course, we've got team names there on the left, bidders across from on the right-hand side. The Miami Dolphins did not sell, so if anything comes out for them, it stays here with me. And the New Orleans Saints are unpaid. So does anyone, last call, anybody at all interested in picking up the Saints in this break? I'm going to probably guess no, because I think I would have seen somebody saying something by now if you were. And of course, a new spreadsheet will go up before Bowman Chrome. So if you're in that break, don't wander too far off. This break will probably take us, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, give or take a few. So not an incredibly long time. But like anything else, a lot of it is just getting the stuff out of the packaging. You probably noticed that your background went out of focus right there. And that was intentional, so please do not be concerned by that. That's actually going to allow us to look at our cards up closer than we would otherwise be able to. Naked Trash Panda is here. Hi, Brian. Hey to you too. And Orman is here in chat. There are more of you here, but that's who's here in chat. So welcome, guys. One more time while I'm taking this out of the wrappers. Is anybody willing to pick up the unpaid New Orleans Saints in this break? Anybody? Before we actually start looking at the cards, I'm going to get all of the seals cut and get the plastic off. And then once we get rolling, we can just kick on down the road. So we're going to delay all the gratification on the front side, and then that way we'll be ready to just rip and roll right through it once I get this part done. The nice thing about Leaf, of course, these are all already in top loaders and sleeves, so they're ready to go. So that gives us a little bit of time savings, and also it's all hits in here. There's no base cards or anything, so that also saves us a little time. And of course, you guys probably all already know we've got people here in their collegiate uniforms in this product. And they do not have team names on them. They do not have city names on them. So they're going to go to the current team. Now, some of these guys, some of these rookies have been cut from their teams. You know, maybe they were on for a practice squad or you know, like a rookie mini camp or something, and they got cut. If they have not signed with another team in the meantime, they will go to that last team they were associated with. But if they got cut and then signed with somebody else, and then got cut from the second team, then they would go to the most recent team that they were associated with. So either current team, if they're active players, or team most recently associated with, if they've been cut and they're just floating around out there in space somewhere, waiting to be picked up. Ashton, you sent a message about the Saints. So are you the owner of the Saints? Are you going to pay for the Saints then, or no? Stang Lover, you said you'll do 18 for the Saints. Well, if Ashton here is not going to pay for them, then we'll probably end up going that route. I mean, that's obviously a little less than they sold for, but better than not selling at all or being paid at all. So let's see. So Ashton, you said yes, you're going to pay for them, or I'm not sure. It just says yes. So are you going to, or yes, no? So that I can tell Stang Lover yay or nay. Yeah, Nick, right now the Saints are open, but Ashton says here that I guess he has the Saints, so I'm waiting to see here if he plans on keeping them or not. So we're figuring that out at the moment. You're a Redskins fan, Brian. What do you think about your coach getting fired? Let me find something to put behind these acetate. I always like to put up one of those little blocks behind it so that you can see what it is. So Ashton, does that mean you're paying for it or you're not paying for it? That's really all we need. You know, that's kind of what I need to know at that point. Okay, so you are going to pay for it. Then obviously, since the offer I have is less than the bid amount, that would be preferable. But if you're not going to pay for it, then tell me now so that I can go ahead and move it on to Stang Lover. So that is numbered to 25. That is Clelin Ferrell. He starts out for the Oakland Raiders. Behind it is Miles Sanders. And Miles is out, of course, for the Eagles. Next up is Anthony Johnson. Anthony heads off to, I think the Chargers is his current or most recent team, signed to their practice squad. Ryan Finley for the Bengals. And another acetate there. That's looking like Will Grier. And it is a little Will Grier for the Carolina Panthers. It is hard sometimes to see the name on those acetates. I don't know why they write it in like purple on black. Like, hey, we can't see that too well, Leaf, but thank you. You know. Hi, David, to you too. And Brian, you said you're fine that they fired, you'd be fine if they fired the GM too. Ashton, you are going to pay for them. All right, then, brother, I will leave them riding with you. And may the force be with you. Deebo Samuel, there's a 1 of 1 out for the San Francisco 49ers. Next up is Trayvon Williams. And Trayvon Williams is the Bengals. Got another acetate here, and that is Jace Sternberger. He is numbered to 10. And I can never, ever remember that guy, ever. The Packers. Why can't I ever retain that? I don't know, but I can't. He's Packer. A Packer. Alex Barnes is out next. He is a Titan, or at least most recently was a Titan. And finally out of that box is Trey Lamar for the Lions. Stang Lover, thank you, man, though, for offering to step in there and pick those up if we weren't going to have it paid for. So I appreciate the willingness to jump in there. But since Ashton is here and he is cool with paying for it, it sounds like he had a mistaken bid amount in there, but he says he's willing to pay for it. So thank you, Ashton, for that, and thank you, Stang Lover, for your willingness to step in there as well. Devin Singletary is out for the Bears, or the Bills rather. Yeah, he didn't get cut. He's still a Bill. I had to think about that a minute. Trace McSorley, he was a Raven. He got cut, didn't he? Did he go anywhere else? Let me see if I made any notes about him. I don't have any notes, so I'm going to assume maybe he is still associated with the Ravens. Clayton Thorson, he's a guy that did get cut and moved around. He was originally Eagles, cut and went to the Cowboys. As far as I know, Cowboys his last team. Numbered to 10, Irv Smith Jr. for the Vikings. And there's a little Nick Bosa. Nice looking Nick Bosa to 10. For the 49ers. So this is the last of Leaf Trinity, I'm pretty sure. Well, of the full cases. I do have a bunch of different Leaf football products in loose boxes. I've got to stop taking those partial cases on some of these products, but since I haven't yet, we do have some partial cases of a bunch of Leaf. I'll probably try to put together in a mixer somewhere along the way. David Montgomery came out for the Chicago Bears. And Hakeem Butler is out next for the Arizona Cardinals. Then we have Draymond Jones. Draymond Jones is numbered to 5. And I got to look for him. Can't remember him off the top of my head. Maybe not. Did I not write him down? Broncos. Okay. Broncos for Draymond Jones. Jamarius Way. He is also the Broncos as his most recent team, I believe. He's another guy that was cut, but I don't think he signed anywhere in the interim. Caden Smith, numbered to 5. And Caden, I got to take a little sneak peek. Caden Smith is the 49ers. Stang Lover says McSorley is still on the Ravens roster. Well, that's what I thought after I checked back at my notes and didn't see anything noting him not being there. So I figured that, yeah, he was actually still there one way or the other. Some of these guys I just can't remember. But I love that Stang Lover always knows this stuff, and he keeps us on the straight and narrow, which is great because he stays really up on who's been cut, sometimes more so than I am. That is Eris Williams for the Colts. He's been cut but not resurfaced anywhere else, so he'll go there. Jordan Scarlett is the Panthers. Anthony Ratliff Williams, numbered to 10, Titans. A redemption for Quinnen Williams. That's going to be the Jets. And then we have a little Drew Lock out. Weird that he signed, like, what's the big gap in the middle of his signature? Weird, right? Drew Lock, Broncos. Stang Lover says there's a change to Caden Smith. Alrighty, well, hang on one second. Let me get back over there. He says Caden Smith is not a 49er anymore, that he is a Giant. All right, so let me make a note of that, and I will double check it. Not that I don't trust you, Stang Lover, but you know I'll double check that before I ship it out, because that's just how I am. I'm a nerd like that. I double check it, triple check it, whatever. I want to make sure it's all going to the right place. But as I said, Stang Lover's awesome about keeping us on the straight and narrow with that. Numbered to 25, it is Marquise Hollywood Brown. It's hard to keep up with some of these undrafted guys that bounce around a lot, you know. Kyle Kempt. And that guy always makes me crazy because he never really had anything except maybe an invitation, I think it was, to the Saints, actually, to their mini camp. So good old Kyle Kempt there will go to the Saints because there is nowhere else for him to go. Rodney Anderson comes out for the Bengals, and you have a little Ed Oliver for the Buffalo Bills, numbered to, what did that say, 25 on Ed Oliver. Chase Vinovich comes out for the Patriots. Little New England, baby. Oh, the 49ers put him on waivers. I didn't realize that. I missed that whole transaction whenever that happened. I didn't even see that happen. So thank you, Stang Lover, for that, as always. Jalen Jelks. And Jalen, let's check him out. We got to take a little peek there. Cowboys. L.J. Scott, I never remember. So clearly this is going to be the box of guys that I never remember. L.J. Scott most recently was the Browns. Then we have Jalen Smith. Lots of Jalen's in here. And Jalen Smith most recently was a Raven, to the best of my knowledge. Andy Isabella smeared his autograph. Gee, Andy, thanks a lot for that, bud. To the Cardinals. A.J. Brown, Tennessee Titans, numbered 260. The big 6-0. All right. We got any more acetate? Just the one. Well, Stang Lover, you called it. There's your Mecole Hardman Jr. That's numbered to 25. You pretty much wished that into existence a while ago, didn't you? I think you did. Isaiah Buggs, Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. Riley Ridley to 10 for the Bears, which, I mean, what's that? It's just, like, his autograph has always been bad, but now it's very, very large. Now it's huge and bad. So thank you, Riley. Noah Fant for the Broncos. And a Dwayne Haskins redemption for the Redskins. I think it's funny that Dan Schneider just comes out and says, like, right at the beginning of the season after they fired their guy, but we've got 2/3 of the season left. Yeah, I'm going after Mike Tomlin. Oh, okay, buddy. Right now he's still coaching my Steelers. You're probably right. He's on the hot seat, but, you know, what's that about? Antoine Wesley. That is the Ravens. Ooh, my cat just did something. Did you all hear that? I think he got in my pile of empty boxes down there. That is Tyree Brady for the Jags. I hope somebody goes to check to make sure our little kitty's not smushed down there. Kelvin Harmon, that heads to the Washington Redskins. Surely I'm not the only one that heard that. I mean, within these walls that can go down there and check. I know you guys probably heard it, but you obviously can't go down there and check. That is Dexter Lawrence, and Dexter Lawrence is a Giant. Devin Bush, the one bright spot for my Steelers this year, to 60. Although Mason Rudolph may turn out to be a bright spot, except for the fact that they knocked him out cold, so now we won't see him for a few weeks. But he may ultimately turn out to be all right for my Steelers. Daniel Jones, that's what you're probably waiting on if you have the Giants, am I right? Well, I had all those acetates together and then stacked that in the middle, dummy. Justice Hill, Ravens. This is, of course, our last box. I forgot to say last box mojo. I got kind of sidetracked by the big crash downstairs. DeMarcus Lodge. That is numbered 225. And dear old DeMarcus Lodge is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, or at least was most recently. Stanley Morgan Jr., Bengals. And last out, we see Devin White, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, numbered 260. All right, kids, so that is the news to use there. We're going to recap it. I'm not going to read it all off again, though, because that would be just like doing the breakover. But we are going to take another little peek at it. And as another reminder, I did originally call Caden Smith for the 49ers, but apparently the Giants claimed him off waivers, so he is actually a Giant, even though earlier I misspoke and called him a 49er. All right. So we're just going to take another quick little peek here. We're going to do all the acetate first, so I don't have to keep picking up and putting down our handy little white card. I mean, technically, I guess I don't have to have that, but I think it's really difficult to see what you've got if you don't have that in the background with these clear acetate. That's my opinion anyway. And of course, as soon as we finish this recap, I will put up spreadsheet information again. So anybody who might have missed that earlier, you're going to get another chance to take a look at when you can expect your items to ship. There's our 1 of 1. And all that jazz. And then as soon as we complete that task, we'll be rolling right into another case of Bowman Chrome. So is anybody watching the Astros and the Rays tonight? You know, before the game started, when they announced that Verlander was going to be the starter, and you know he's only on 3 days rest, and the guy's been brilliant all year, but let's face it, he's no spring chicken, right? And you're asking him to pitch back in 3 days under a lot of pressure with actually the Rays are a pretty good hitting team. Man, they lit him up tonight. Lit him up. I have no idea what the score is now. Obviously, I had to quit watching it part of the way through because I've got to always stop and invoice and do the spreadsheets and all that. But they just touched him up real good. Second batter up, knocked one out on him. And that pretty much did it. I think that mentally put him right off the rails. Which I love Verlander. You guys know I'm a big Justin Verlander fan. Garrett Cole, really that whole pitching lineup for the Astros. Even though I'm not necessarily an Astros fan particularly. I love their starting 3. But yeah, he got lit up tonight, kids. Stang Lover, yes, there were a lot of acetates in there. Although, honestly, there have been a lot in the last several cases we've opened. Ormond, you are welcome for the hits. Hi, Charles Brown. Daniel Jones. Is that who you're asking about on the Daniel Jones? I think we had just the one acetate Daniel Jones, right, guys? I think that is the case. That's all I personally remember. Now, while I check payment status on Bowman Chrome, I'm going to let you look at that for a minute. And let's see if we got paid or not on this last one. We did not. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? So the Chicago Cubs, guys, I need to find a home for the Cubbies here in Bowman Chrome. Let's see what they last sold for. Looks like they went for $39 on eBay was their last bid amount. I'm going to bring you back to me for a minute, and I'm going to squeeze over here and fix this spreadsheet to reflect that and see if we can find a home for the Cubbies in here tonight. Maybe, hopefully. We'll see. We'll see if anybody wants to give them either a foster home, a temporary home, a forever home. Hey, I'm open to either one, right? Either one's fine. Okay, so here's the deal. Saturday is approximately when this stuff we're opening tonight's going to get out the door. If I can get it shipped out to you sooner than that, of course, I will happily do so. And if you get skunked, if you got skunked in the last break, I don't think anybody will get skunked in the upcoming Bowman Chrome. But if you got skunked in Trinity and you didn't pull a single card of any sort, then you will still get consolation card or cards. They will ship out when the rest of the break goes because it's a paid shipping break. All the cards ship in Bowman Chrome, so everybody's going to have a package with cards in it from that break. So this is a 12-box case of Bowman Chrome. It's break number 6, also ended tonight on eBay, of course, Tuesday night the 8th. And once again, team names on the left, winning bidders there across from each one on the right. The Chicago Cubs available for purchase. They are sitting unpaid at the moment. So is anybody interested in the Cubbies in this break? Because they are stranded on base, if you will. Because the person who bought them did not pay for them. And let's see here. Oh, yeah. See, I should have caught that. Yeah, this is somebody that's only been on eBay a couple weeks. They have hardly any feedback. And yeah, those are kind of predictable. You hate to say that. It's a bit of a generalization, but 9 times out of 10, somebody who's new and has very little or no feedback does not pay you. Maybe 8 times out of 10. Maybe 9's too harsh. Maybe 8 times out of 10. So nobody wants the Cubbies tonight. Oh, it's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? Well, at least we got most of them paid for then. Richie, you cannot leave negative feedback for non-paying bidders, unfortunately. We used to be able to, but you can't anymore. eBay does not allow it. So now the only thing you can do is go in and block them from bidding in the future. But that doesn't really do anything, honestly. I mean, it'll keep them from bidding with me again, but it doesn't do anything to kind of get them out of the eBay community, if you will. Because some people just hop around and do it all the time with different breakers, you know. Because there are a lot of people breaking, obviously. But, yeah, not much you can do about it. You'll do the Cubs, Stang Lover. Look at you being my hero. Ah, that is awesome, man. Let me get the spreadsheet updated for you. Get this closed up here on eBay real quickly. And well, I think you have my email, Stang Lover, that I use for PayPal. But in case you don't, I'm going to type it in again. And, of course, I know that you know I never, ever check correspondence on this. It's an OG email, kids. It's older than some of you probably are. Maybe not older than some of you, but it's pretty old. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to cancel it here in eBay. And let's get this part done. And then update it here for you, Stang Lover. All right. There we go. Spreadsheet's all updated. And it's canceled out there, so we are good to go. So, yeah, I wish, Richie, that we could still do that, but they don't let us. But what we can do, of course, they get unpaid item strikes. And if they get enough of those in a short period of time, they would get kicked off. And then there are breakers, well, and non-breakers too. There are sellers on eBay who also use the automated settings like I do that will automatically block people with unpaid item strikes. So that helps you a little bit. And then, of course, you know, if you are the original seller, you can block them from your listings, period. But I'm talking about, like, you know, as far as like me avoiding somebody else's unpaid bidders, the only way I can do it is by blocking them, you know, from the unpaid item strike perspective. Or a lot of breakers, well, there's a handful of breakers, probably a dozen or so, that break all the time on eBay that are pretty well known. And amongst that group, we trade information back and forth. So it is a situation where sometimes if somebody has a problem with a bidder, they'll, you know, send out an alert or whatever you want to call it, and the rest of us will say, okay, and then we know what to do. But that's all we can do. Staying Lover, thank you. I appreciate it. We will have to try to find you a couple of cubbies in here now, right? See if the mojo rewards you. And of course, you all have probably noticed by now that we have 2 mini boxes coming out of each master box. And what I am doing is going through and getting all of our mini boxes extracted first. Because once again, I like to delay the gratification just once. This way, once we get started, we can more efficiently work our way through it. Now, each one of our mini boxes will have in it an autograph, which means there are 2 autographs per master box, meaning a total of 24 autographs in this break is what we're going to find. Now, there'll be all kinds of other things too. We're going to find parallels and numbered cards, inserts, a lot of different things. As we come across those, we'll talk about them in the first couple of mini boxes. And then after we've done that and everybody's kind of familiar with, hey, this is what you're looking for and how it's coming out, then we'll bust through the remaining ones with a little more speed. Hi, Edward. Were you in earlier? Did I miss you earlier? Hi, if I did miss you earlier. Sometimes I don't look over there at the exact right time and don't see somebody jump in. And Richie and Brian are in here too. And Richie, Brian, and Edward are all wishing everybody good luck. So hopefully karma, fate, the powers that be, the breaking gods, whatever we want to call them, hopefully they're listening and they're going to reward us all very handsomely tonight. Or all of you, I should say, very handsomely tonight. All right, kids. At last. The mini boxes are freed from their packaging prison. Let's get a few little sleeves out on the table and time to start buzzing through it here. Edward, we had, I want to say, a redemption for Haskins in the last break. I think that is correct. Staying Lover can maybe tell you for sure, but I think that is right. Richie, we have not had any superfractors out of Bowman Chrome yet, I don't think. I wouldn't swear to it. We've been breaking this for a while, and there's a lot of things interspersed with it, but I don't really think so. We've had a couple of reds, a few reds, but I don't think we've had any one of ones out of here that I recall. All right, so again, we'll go a little slower through this first group just so you can get a feel for what we're going to be finding. And there, of course, the Orioles. Our first autograph hit out is Blaine Knight. We'll find lots of these called stat trackers, and those stat trackers, the entire insert series does refract, but they are not typically numbered. If we have anything that varies from that, I will, of course, call it out. Otherwise, when you see it, just know it refracts and assume it is unnumbered. Chris Davis, another Orioles hit, that is purple, and it's numbered to 250. Whenever we find purple that is not shimmer, it will be to 250. When we find purple shimmer, those are not numbered at all. So we'll find a lot of this insert series too. This is Arizona Fall League, and the whole insert series refracts. Again, they are not typically going to be numbered. If that varies, I will, of course, let you know. That's an example of purple shimmer. Armenteros for the A's. So not numbered, but color nonetheless. And of course, there are blue. Those are to 150. There are green to 99. There are reds that we can find to 5. If we get really lucky, maybe we find a superfractor, as you mentioned, which is a 1 of 1. There are gold to 50. There are orange to 25. What else? Probably we will find an Arizona Fall League alumni card. 1 or 2 of those usually come out per case. We typically will have a relic hit, although in our last case we had 3 or 4 relics. Had an extraordinary amount of relics in the last case. But generally speaking, those come out more like once per case. So we'll probably find one somewhere along the way through here. For the Dodgers, you have got Robinson Ortiz. And that also, guys, was a refractor, which is why it's numbered to 499. Base refractors in here are to 499, as are base refractors with a signature attached. Each of those to 499. Elite Farmhands, the entire series refracts, not numbered, generally speaking. And a Purple Giant to 250. And that would be a little Sean Jelly. And I like him. Played here locally. And I think it's going to be pretty good. By the way. Yeah, Stang Lover, I think you're right. I think Haskins is always a redemption in Trinity. I don't remember at any point pulling him live anyway. So I think you are spot on with that, my friend. Of course, we've still got quite a bit of chrome left to break, so you can expect to see that continuing to break for the next few weeks. Look at that, Stang Lover. You got the Stat Tracker Nico, man, to 99 for your Cubbies. That's a nice little hit. Well, little Nico Horner, of course, he's been playing. He played some already this year. They brought him up in September, and Nico looked pretty good. So, Cubbies, it's a nice little hit. Jordan Adams. This is our Atomic Refractor. It's numbered to 150 for Elite Farmhands. So how about that? The universe repaid you, my friend, for picking that up. This is an image variation short print, Corbin Burns for the Brewers. So it is not numbered, but it is nonetheless a short print, just the image variation version. And those are, generally speaking, we're finding about 1 a case. I don't know that it's particularly guaranteed 1 a case, but they're coming out about 1 a case. Gold, Texas Rangers, Anderson Tejeda to 50. Gold is to 50. Sorry, I didn't say that. Might not have said that. So, in case I didn't, I'll show you again. To 50. Stang Lover, you said Nico was a bit of the thorn in the side for the 2 Cardinals-Cubs series near the end. Yeah, I mean, Nico, I thought he looked pretty good. Now, obviously, since you're a Cardinals fan, as you say, maybe not your favorites. way to see him play. But yeah, as a whole, he did pretty well when he came up for September. So nonetheless, that should be easily resold for you on the Nico. Should make your money back with no problem on that one, I would think. Kansas City Royals. Carlos Hernandez is our autograph hit from this mini box. That was a little Joey Bart Elite Farm Hands. I like Joey Bart. Personally, I like him. I think he's going to be quite good. To 499, a base refractor for the Kansas City Royals. You have a little Khalil Lee. So knowing what you know now, and at this point in the playoffs, who do you think ends up in the World Series? I mean, the Yankees absolutely dominated the Twins. They're the only ones that obviously are all the way there. You know, I always think every year that the Dodgers are going to play really well because they always look so good through the season, and then they somehow just cough it up right at the end. So, I don't know. And the Nationals, man, Scherzer came out there on short rest and just burned through them last night. So, I think that's a toss-up between the Nats and the Dodgers. So we've still got quite a few interesting games to play before we get there. I think the Yankees get to the World Series this year. I haven't decided yet who goes with them, but I think the Yankees get there. This is Garcia, speaking of the Yankees. But we've had some interesting playoff games. So that's nice. We haven't had anything really that's been routine, if you will. It seems like we keep getting into these games where you get into one inning and people just all of a sudden start pounding the opposing pitcher and bringing 6, 7, 8 runs in one inning. It gets a little crazy. Purple Shimmer for the White Sox, Connor Pilkington. And then our last two base out of that mini. Course, you know, in the celebration after the Yankees dispatched with the Twins, Aroldis Chapman somehow gets hit in his pitching hand with a beer bottle or some type of bottle. I guess it could have been a champagne bottle, but with a bottle, and had some big gigantic bandage on his hand. Did you all see that? Like, oh my God. Like, how do you, of all the players, how do you let your pitcher get beamed on the hand in your victory celebration with a bottle? But they didn't seem to think it was going to be anything too serious, so I guess he'll ultimately be all right. Stang Lover, oh, you think that there's a conspiracy for the Yankees, huh? You think the Major League Baseball commissioner is going to make sure they get in there? Well, how's he going to do that? You talking about by the refs he assigns or something? Numbered to 499, Patrick Sandoval for the Angels. So I don't know about that, but I do think that they have been awfully good all year, and as I've talked about many times, not many teams could have had as many injuries as they had and still be in this position this time of year. I mean, they've just been plug and play all year long. Tristan Casas, Purple Shimmer, Red Sox. I mean, it's just one man goes down, next man comes up, and even if you've barely heard of him, he plays just as well as the guy who went out on injury. So they've been really fortunate in that respect, in that they're very deep. For the Dodgers, Mitchell White to 99. That is our first green of the night. Headed to LA. So Stang Lover, yeah, so you think you think it's been magical. I believe that he's saying a little tongue-in-cheek there, feeling like that you feel like the commissioner's giving the Yankees some help, huh? Well, I don't know about that, but I do think that they look awfully tough. And I think, of course, the Astros look good. They've got the great pitching rotation. It's hard to argue with, even though Verlander had a bad night. As a whole, their three-headed pitching monster is pretty impressive. Brian Abreu for the Astros. So I don't know. And then, of course, you know, the Cardinals have been surprisingly good. And the Nationals have really done a good job using, really, their starters out of the bullpen a few occasions. Plug and play in there and have made that work. So all the teams that are in have, at this point, that are still in, all have legitimate reasons why they could be the ones. The Mets, Purple Shimmer, Tim Tebow. Huh. How about that? I don't think I've seen any other numbered Tim Tebow out of here all season out of Bowman Chrome, that I remember anyway. Hey now, mini box, quit falling over there. But the Cardinals have had Yadier Molina save their butts a couple of times already. But you just can't seem to count them out. Every time it looks like they're done for, they find a way to come back. So, Stanglover, your Cardinals may be one of the last men standing, one of the last teams standing. I don't know. Francisco Morales, autograph for the Phillies. Little Philadelphia action. Stanglover, besides the Cubs, who else do you have in here tonight? Do you have the Cardinals? I can't remember who you told me your other team was. The Cubbies with a Purple Shimmer for Aramis Ademan. You don't want to jinx them. Okay, all right. Well, I retract it then so that I don't cause them to be jinxed. Hey, it's my Reds. Cincinnati Reds get a hit. Mike Ciani. So whoever's got the Reds, congratulations. You all know I'm a Reds fan. Long-suffering Reds, we are fans. To 250, that's David Peralta for the Diamondbacks. But it does get easier after a while, after a decade or so goes by. You kind of just don't even expect, not only do you not expect to win, you're just happy if you don't lose 100 games. If you can lose 97 even, but as long as you don't lose all the way to 100, it's like, oh yeah, man, we had a great season. Purple Shimmer Corey Ray for the Brewers. You know, I haven't heard much about Corey Ray lately. Once upon a time, he was pretty high in the pecking order there in the Brewers farm system, but I've not heard much about him lately. I don't know what his deal is. Stanglover, the Angels are your other team in here. All right, so you're looking probably for a little Joe Adell, perhaps. Hi, Patrick. Not Josh Ray is here. Hi, not Josh Ray. You're a Marlins fan. But you know what about the Marlins? You all had some really good pieces, but at least you tore it all down with a purpose. You know, you tore it down with the purpose of rebuilding it. That's the problem with the Reds. We don't completely tear down to rebuild anything, but we also won't pay our good players to keep them. So, we pay Joey Votto, and then we just plug in other people on like short-term rentals. To 250, Michael King, purple parallel autograph, Yankees. I would much rather do what you're doing there in Miami and just tear it all down to the studs and start rebuilding it. And yeah, it takes a while, but at least you have a goal in sight. You will know when the house has been rebuilt. For us, it's like we're not even tearing the house down. We're just kind of walking by and taking a brick out ever so often. Just waiting for it to completely collapse and crush everyone inside or something. I don't know. The White Sox, blue to 150, Nick Madrigal. You think it's going to be the Cardinals and the Nats going at it, and then you think it's going to be the Astros and the Yankees, huh? I go back and forth whether or not I think the Nationals are going to win. On paper, you really would think that it should be the Dodgers. But the Dodgers, as I said, they've choked in the postseason the last couple of years. And the Nationals are playing awfully well right now. So it's really going to probably come down to Strasburg, obviously, in this next game, if Strasburg can carry them or not. Zach Brown, Milwaukee Brewers. Because, Scherzer did his bit. So, it's up to Strauss now. But wouldn't that be something? After they get rid of Bryce Harper. Well, not get rid of, but you know what I mean. To 150 blue, Christian Yelich, Brewers. They wanted to keep him, but they could not. So after he left is the better way to say it. Wouldn't it be something then if this is the year that without him, that this is the year that they went on and like won the whole thing or something? That would be fairly crazy. There's another Tim Tebow. Tebow kind of night for the Mets. That is a base refractor to 499. Especially since the Phillies really didn't kind of live up to expectations. Not Josh Ray, you said the goal for the Marlins, I'm assuming you're talking about, is not spending any money. So you think that there's like no hope on your rebuild? Well, even if they don't spend money, if they have a good eye for talent, you can rebuild through the draft for sure. It takes longer, but you can still rebuild through the draft quite successfully if they have a good eye for talent, and that doesn't cost them that much. So I wouldn't say that it would be hopeless anyway. For the Colorado Rockies, we have a little Ryan Feltner signature. But a lot of it will depend on how well they draft. Obviously. Numbered to 499, it's Miles Michaelis. For the Cardinals, that is a base refractor, which I stacked with the autographs, but I fixed it. We got to recap it all anyway, the numbered and the signed. I just like to keep them separated because it makes it easier. To 499, there is a base refractor for the Padres, and this is Owen Miller. Alrighty, kids. Let's see what we got back here. Now we can stack things up a little easier. Let's see what we've got left hanging out back there. Patrick Carter. These breaks are sold through eBay. So most nights, not every night of the week, but most weeks I break 6 nights out of 7. Some weeks I break 7 out of 7. Every once in a while it'll be 5 out of 7. But in other words, most of the time, I do breaks most nights, and they end on eBay, and we always break the same night that the auction ends. So, like everything we're breaking right now, these auctions just ended, an hour or two ago. And if you're interested in jumping in, the easiest way probably to find them would be to go to eBay's advanced search, and then you can do a search by seller, and the seller ID is Fleaburger. I know, that's weird, but that's what it is. Flea, like on an animal, F-L-E-A, and then burger, all one word, and that is the eBay username. So that would be the easiest way I know to tell you to find it. Staying Lover, you said the one thing you always remember about Trout and Harper is that in the last 5 years, neither one of them has been able to lead their team to the playoffs. Yeah, I know. It is a fact. It is true. For the Indians, that is Sam Hentages. But there are very few players that could single-handedly get their team to the playoffs, in my opinion. Not these days, not in this world. There is Mr. Sanchez. That is a green shimmer /99 for the Marlins. Speak of the devil. With all the advanced metrics and 50 million other things going on with the game today, it just can't be one man leading them there. To $4.99, Chris Sale, Red Sox base refractor. And I do think that the Angels are starting to get some pieces put in around Mike Trout that will probably ultimately get them where they need to be. They still have a few more pieces to get, I think, but they're getting closer. And honestly, the Phillies, I don't know what happened to them this year. They should have been better than they were, I think. So there's Purple Shimmer, unnumbered, Mets, Tommy Wilson. Charles, you would like to see a Canario tonight because you are a big Nationals fan. All right, man, let's try to do that for you then. For the Orioles, we have a little McKenna. So Ryan McKenna is maybe the second autograph for the Orioles. Wouldn't swear to that, but I think it is. We do, of course, recap it at the end, so we'll take another look at all of that. Josh Bell with a base refractor to $4.99, Pittsburgh Pirates. Red Sox, another base refractor to $4.99, Tristan Casas. All right, and the beat marches on. Well, Staying Lover, yeah, the Nationals had... Here's the thing about the Nationals. Yes, they had talent around Harper, but you know this well as I do, their bullpen has been their issue. I mean, their starting pitching has been okay, but their bullpen has been not good. I was going to say horrendous, but it's not really horrendous, but it's not good. Which is why you saw them bringing out Patrick Corbin to pitch an inning of relief, and Scherzer to pitch an inning in relief, and Strasburg to pitch an inning in relief. That's why you saw their starters coming out to help out in these other games, because their bullpen has not been good. So, they did have talent around him, yes. But I still don't know that it was to the level required to get to the playoffs with just Bryce Harper and what they had. Owen Miller. Or maybe it's just team chemistry. That's why I said, wouldn't it be ironic if the year after he's gone is the year they run through and take it all? That would be the ultimate irony, wouldn't it? Gold to 50, Taylor Ward, Angels. Especially because they tried really hard to keep him. I mean, they really did offer him up quite a bit of money. He just was ready to be gone, and maybe it's best for both sides. Who knows? That is the Mariners, Purple Shimmer to $250. And I left 2 little base cards hanging out. Oh, look, and speak of, one of the little base cards hanging out was Bryce Harper. Marty Marr, how's it going, brother? How is life in LA? I heard that, I think maybe it's Northern California, though, where they're getting ready to shut off a bunch of people's power for the next 24 or 36 hours or something. Because they're expecting a bunch of weather and it's fire conditions, and they don't want another one of their power lines to come down and spark a gigantic wildfire like it did the last time. So I don't remember if you're northern. I think you're Southern Cal, though, right? So maybe that doesn't affect you. For the Brewers, it is Peyton Henry. So, yeah, I just heard about that today. Of course, I've still got friends out in Cali, but mine are Southern mostly. Numbered to 150, that is a Wander Franco, which is very nice, for the Tampa Bay Rays, an Atomic Refractor Stat Tracker. Yeah, you're good down south. All right, so they're not going to cut your power off then. That's good. That's good. To $4.99, a base refractor for the Yankees, Chance Adams. I don't know, everybody's weather is getting really weird. I mean, here, we were in the 90s as recently as last week. We hadn't had rain in almost 6 weeks. We got rain a couple of days ago, finally. Got a couple of inches of rain, and the temperature dropped a fair amount, probably by 15 degrees or so. It's $4.99 Nick Green, base refractor, Yankees. And now they tell us that it's going to drop all the way down into like the 30s, and we're going to have frost here in a couple of days. So we're going to go from 90s to 30s, although 30s might be the nighttime low. We might be a little higher in the daytime, but either way, huge temperature swing. And some places, I guess, are going pretty much straight from summer into winter with some big snowstorms expected, too. So kind of like last year, there's no fall. We're just going straight from summer into, oh, crap, it's cold. No in between. Oh, Cameron, it's going to be 98 where you are tomorrow. Woo. Yeah, we just got out of a bout of the 90s. As I said, that rain knocked us back into the 70s, and apparently that's only going to last a few days, and then we're going to travel on downward. Edwin Yasita for the Dodgers. But weather, I mean, it was crazy like that last year, too, if you remember. We went almost straight from summer into winter last year, too. Not dead of winter, but you know what I mean. To $4.99 base refractor, Alex Bregman, Astros. Probably nice if they're playing ball, though. I mean, they're not at least burning alive out there in those long pants and 90-something degree weather. Giancarlo Stanton, Yankees, green to 99 with Giancarlo. The Twins, a base refractor to $499. Johan Duran. And that mini box is finished up. Stang Lover, you said the popular comment in Central Illinois is the temperature went from 90 to 45 like it saw a state trooper. Yeah. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Well, probably most of you know, at least those of you who break with me often, you know how much I hate cold weather. So I would always take the 99 degree day over the 29 degree day, like without fail. The Astros, that is a green parallel to 99 with Christian Javier for Houston. Blue, Kansas City Royals to 150, Nick Pratto. Oh, why did I just stack those on the autographs? Austin Riley to 150, Atlanta Braves. So nice one there for the Braves with Austin Riley. Anybody have a score update on the Astros game? Bye-bye. Orioles to 250. That is Grayson Rodriguez, purple parallel. So we basically have 3 master boxes left. That's why, of course, remember 2 mini boxes per master. So we've got 6 minis left. So essentially down to our last 3 boxes, but our last 6 autographs. Still 4-0, bottom of the 7th. Okay. I'm really surprised the Astros haven't gotten a run in at all. Especially because Rays were making it a bullpen night. Or openers, as they like to call them over there. Perdomo to 150 for the D-backs. But truly, the Astros should have scored in the inning where Altuve got thrown out at home. He either should have been held at third or he should have run faster. I mean, the throw did look kind of improbable, but not impossible. I think I probably would have held him at third, but they didn't. They sent him, and he got thrown out pretty handily. That is a purple shimmer unnumbered for the Marlins. They should have gotten on the board there, and had they gotten on the board there, you would have still had other base runners and maybe had a chance to knock in a few, but as it turned out, they just busted right out of the inning. Staying Lover, have they had to use Blake Snell yet? I mean, I'm hoping that they don't have to use him so he could pitch in his start, because I play a little contest and I've got good points for him. So I would rather them not use him up tonight, but he could probably still make the start if he just did an inning tonight, maybe. But I'm just wondering if they've had to go in that deep yet or not, pitching-wise, the Rays. The Astros to 150, the blue parallel, Corbin Martin. And the Astros with an autograph. And that is Brandon Bielak, one or the other. Or maybe neither one, but something in the ballpark of that anyway. And our relic is coming out for the Blue Jays. It's Vlad Guerrero Jr., and it is a, of course, as all of our relics are in here, I think, it is authenticated. Got a little Major League Baseball authentication sticker on that bad boy. It is numbered to 99. Vlad Guerrero Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays. Well, did they? I can't remember that far back how much the Astros beat up on Blake Snell. They certainly gave it to Charlie Morton the other night. Although Charlie did kind of settle down a little bit later on, but yeah, they kind of pounded on Charlie Morton a bit, but he still pitched a solid game overall. But I don't remember if they tore up Blake Snell. I'm sure they did, if that's what you're thinking. I'm sure that's right. It's to 499, Abraham Toro Astros. Of course, I usually only see bits and pieces of games because I'm typically breaking. I miss a lot of them one way or the other. See a little of the beginning and miss the end, or miss the beginning and see a little at the end, or sometimes none at all, and I just have to watch the highlights later. Yankees to 99, green shimmer for, who is this? Roansy, is that right? Roansy Contreras. And I'm not one of these who can tape it and then go back and watch it later. Once it's happened, I have no interest. I just want to know the outcome once it's over. Now, my dad, he's the opposite of that. My dad can tape a game, and as long as he can avoid the news coverage, which he actively tries to do, so that he doesn't know the outcome, he's perfectly fine watching it well after it took place. But I have never been that way. Like, I either want to catch it live, or if I've missed it live, I just want to know the score and go watch the highlights. I don't want to go back and watch it after it's over. Which I know is weird. If I don't know the outcome, it shouldn't matter, but somehow it does. I don't know why. The Dodgers with another autograph here tonight. This one belonging to Robinson Ortiz. Ooh, orange. Our first orange of the night, maybe our only orange of the night, I don't know, but our first one anyway. And it is headed to the Braves. It is numbered to 25, of course, and that is Colby Allard for the Atlanta Braves. Orange to 25. Oh, another orange right behind it in the same pack. Oh, I like that pack of cards. Well, in the same mini box. I don't guess it necessarily had to be in the same pack, but you get my drift. We got two oranges coming out together. Makes me happy. And that is Micker Adolfo for the White Sox. Of course, also numbered to 25, being that it's a handsome orange, and that one also had shimmer with it. So orange and orange shimmer out of the same mini box. All right, we are now officially into our last master box. So even though there are two mini boxes that comprise the last master box, we're going to go ahead and call this last box Mojo. Call it out right now. And of course, that's the point in the night where we all work together, focus our Mojo energy, and hope that this last master box will deliver us something phenomenal, right? That's the goal. Oh, it's another one for your Cubbies, Staying Lover. And this time you get Brailyn Marquez. So not a bad little pickup there for the Cubs, primarily from the Nico earlier, but still nice to get the backup bookend hit as well. Excuse me. That's one thing the cold snap will do. Get rid of whatever stupid pollen or whatever has been causing my asthma to race out of control for the last 2 weeks. So that will be a refreshing change when we get a little frost or whatever. For the Rockies to 250, that is Ryan Feltner. That is a purple parallel. The Blue Jays, Adam Kloffenstein. For Toronto is our last autograph out. We may still have some parallels or things left to find, like this one. Mr. Tatis comes out. purple to 250 for the Padres. We have a base Cedric Mullins refractor to 499 Orioles. And you know what we did not see tonight? We didn't see any Fall Stars alumni. Or Fall League, I should say, alumni. Usually we find 1 or 2 a case. Didn't see any in here tonight. I don't think. I'm pretty sure we didn't. And the Cubbies get one more. It is a purple shimmer for Richard Gallardo. Alrighty, kids. We are going to recap. After we do the recap, we will then go into the spreadsheet, take a look at your anticipated shipping information, and then finally take a look at what's coming up in the days ahead. So all of that is coming at you next here, but we'll do the recap first, of course. These purple shimmers, once again, are not numbered. Purple that has the shimmer is never numbered in here. So Cubs, Marlins, Mariners, Mets, Brewers, Cubs, Mets, Red Sox, White Sox, and A's, all with purple shimmer. Then we have our nice little relic for Vlad Guerrero Jr. and the Blue Jays. And that's the Arizona Fall League to 99. Again, those typically fall 1 per case, although occasionally we have had more than 1 per case, and occasionally I think we may have had a case or 2 without them, but generally speaking, that's how it goes. So, through this stack, base refractors are numbered to 499. Purple are to 250. We only had 2 oranges, and they came out of the same mini box. That is an orange shimmer to 25 and a regular orange to 25. And we have green, whether it is shimmer or not, those are to 99. Blue, shimmer or not, are to 150. And that's all the pretty colors of the rainbow we found in here, although we did find a couple of atomic refractors, those each numbered to 150. That particular one, Wander Franco. And some gold. The gold are to 50 as well. Now maybe I've said all the colors of the rainbow. I forgot about the gold a while ago, didn't I? And we did not find any red tonight, so those are our numbered cards that do not have autographs or relics attached. Here comes our autographs. So we have the Blue Jays, the Cubbies, Dodgers, Astros base refractor to 499, Astros again, Diamondbacks blue to 150, Astros green to 99. That is in the wrong stack, but it is obviously still a parallel. It's blue to 150 for the Royals. It just doesn't have an autograph on it. The Dodgers, Brewers, Padres, Orioles, Indians, Rockies, Brewers, the Yankees purple to 250. What is that right there? Did you guys see that? Hang on a minute. What is that right there? That is something that's actually on or in the card, in that I didn't catch that the first time through. Now it came like it scooted off, whatever it was. So I think it was just a little, let's just get another sleeve, but I think it was like a little piece, maybe even off the edge of the card. You guys know how sometimes these edges leave little pieces, but anyway, it's out of there now and I feel better about it, so there you go. The Cincinnati Reds, the Phillies, the Astros, the Angels base refractor to 499, Yankees, Royals, there's that nice Nico for the Cubbies, Stat Tracker to 99. We have been finding 1 parallel autograph per case in general. Again, that's kind of like the relic. I don't know that it's specifically absolutely guaranteed by Topps, but generally we find those about 1 a case. The Dodgers and the Orioles. That is the recap. Edward, you said, was Nico the case hit? Yeah, I mean, again, more or less, there's usually an autograph on a parallel, like a Stat Tracker insert or one of the other inserts that will generally fall 1 per case, but I'm not sure that Topps totally guarantees that, but that's been my experience that we typically will find that. But then again, we typically find Fall League alumni 1 or 2 a case, and we didn't find that at all. But we did find, of course, the Stat Tracker autograph and the relic. The relic kit was in there tonight, too, of course. All right, kids, let's do a little spreadsheet recapping while we're at it. So Saturday is when I'm projecting all of this will be out the door and on the way to you by Saturday, on Saturday, on or by, and hopefully sooner. I'm going to try really hard to get it out to you sooner, but really shouldn't be any later than that unless something super unexpected happens. And everybody pulled cards in Chrome. I feel sure nobody should have to worry about consolation cards there. If you got skunked in Trinity and did not pull anything at all, you will still get a package in the mail. It will ship with the rest of the break, and it will have your consolation card or cards in it. Tomorrow night, we're going to start early, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. There's only one new release tomorrow. It's Clearly Authentic Baseball. We will open a full case of that, as well as a case of Archive Signature Series Retired Player Edition. All of that tomorrow night. Thursday night, it's going to be a case of autographed full-size football helmets. Yeah, right? A whole case of those. That's kind of fun. And then an 8-box center case of Illusions football. Friday night will once again start at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. There are 2 new releases that night. A half case of Leaf Autograph Mini Football helmets and a full case of Panini Impeccable Football. Those are the new releases. We'll also open a case of National Treasures Baseball to wrap up Friday night. Saturday, we'll open a full case of Game Day Great Series 2 autographed football jerseys, More Clearly Authentic by the case, and another case of Bowman Chrome Baseball. And then Sunday will be an off night. So I guess, kids, that is it for me tonight. I think we are all wrapped up. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for spending part of your evening with me. I hope that you have a fantastic week ahead. And if I don't see you tomorrow night, hopefully I will see you again soon. So until then, take care. Bye now.